Well, hello and welcome to the TTML F4, second race of the season, season 6, Azerbaijan. I am joined today for the second time in a row by our one and only chicken man, Mr. Funky Chicken. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Looking forward to this race. I think it's going to be an interesting one. How about you? How are you doing?
Yeah, I am doing really good. I had a relaxing day today. Been an hour at the barbershop, but we're not here to talk about my relaxing manly day today. We are here to watch the race. Let's get a quick look at the podium of last week. It was well, Nelly with a dominating victory last week. Who was, of course, because of that, in P1 with 30 points. Second was IRL Dundee, who was on 25 points, and third, Scuba Steve. Just a quick recap of last week. What were your final thoughts on that race?
It was a bit of a dull race as Nelly just dominated the race from start to finish as he just pulled the instant gap, but it was a very good fight in the midfield throughout, which resulted in Storm crashing on the last lap and then Dundee. Who was it again who finished P3?
P3 was Scuba Steve.
Yeah, Scuba Steve as well, doing a phenomenal job after a poor start. Let's just hope for more of the same tonight.
Yeah, let's do hope more of the same. There were some quite big gaps last week. In the end, the safety car ended at all. But yeah, who knows? Today, Azerbaijan. It is quite a tricky track. It's a street circuit. 26 laps of racing. Any thoughts on today's race?
I think there'll be quite a few safety cars as the walls just come towards you every single corner. So I think we'll see quite a few incidents. It's very tricky to go side by side as just a little bit of a squeeze could result in being pushed into the wall, which results in damage.
Yeah, it can definitely become quite a front wing graveyard, to say the least. I have some experiences with that. And yeah, as you said, some 90-degree corners, there's literally no runoff. So any mistake will end up, we'll see you end up in the wall. And then there's the castle section, which is really narrow. And you can, yeah, really just make or break your lap there, can't you?
Yeah. The one thing I'd be interested to see, will anyone dare to go side by side through castle section? It is possible, but the two drivers have to be inch perfect, or one of them will result in hitting the wall.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I've never seen any good side-by-side action through the castle section. I heard from, I believe it is James, our head commentator, that he tried it once with Honey Badger, who does our phenomenal graphics in F1, but I believe that ended up in tears as well. So yeah, who knows? Maybe some of these guys out here today can do that. And look at that, we have a rainy session. So rain in qualifying definitely. Not sure for the race, but that makes it even harder, doesn't it?
Yes, if you go the tiniest bit deep into the corner, you'll just continue to keep sliding. You'll struggle to regain control and will probably end up hitting the wall, and it will ruin your entire lap.
Yeah, so really tricky circumstances for these drivers today. Let's see, I believe, a Haas coming out first, so let's go on board with him. Not sure who it is. It is Scooter Steve, and he already ran out wide on his outlap. So that just shows how tricky it can be around here, especially in these circumstances. So let's go on board with FRL Charlie. Charlie, who we saw, well, quite far up the front last week, but he made one little mistake and crashed. So what are you expecting from FRL Charlie today?
I'm hoping for obviously a better strategy call, because that was also another factor which ruined his race. He went for late two-stop with a double set of softs, and the gap was just too much to cover in the last couple of laps, and unfortunately he ended quite far down the field to what he should have done really, to show in that pace.
Yeah, he most definitely did, but he showed some real pace there. So let's hope he has his strategy on point today, and doesn't make any mistakes, because I really think he can be one of the front runners. And looking at everyone who's participating today, I see FNR Zam is in here as well. I believe he wasn't there last week, but he is the current F5 champion, promoted to TTML F4. Any expectations from you regarding FNR Zam?
I think he's going to put up a good fight towards Nelly, who, speaking of, has just gone straight on through the dangerous turn 15 and hit the wall, and already has damage on his outlet. But going back to Zam, I think he probably had the pace advantage over Nelly last season, but just in the races, just too many mistakes, cost him the championship in the end. So I hope to see him bounce back this season, and maybe fight Nelly once again for the title.
Well, and he just exited the first corner, some really difficult 90 degrees corners here, and you can see people just getting to get acquainted to the track in wet conditions, which isn't easy, as CPI Noah J is already out of qualifying, I believe. Crashed out of the penultimate corner, I believe. But so far, on board overall Charlie, doing great, coming up to the well, not exactly to the castle section yet, but he is near. Here you have to be really precise on throttle, especially because there is a straight. It isn't the longest straight on this track, definitely not, but it can cost you a lot of time if your exit isn't on point there. And here he goes through castle section for the first time, and he hits the wall. I am not sure if he has some wing damage there, but I do expect he does. So yeah, let's see if he continues with this run, or if this is or if his first run is over now. Looks like he's continuing this one. Going wide again there. I like to cut that corner in the last game, but it just isn't possible anymore. At least for me, it isn't. Going out wide here as well. So yeah, I think we're gonna see FNR Charlie going into the pits with some front wing damage. Has to be careful not ending his qualifying there. So let's see, Scuba Steve is on the hot lap, I believe. Let's switch to Scuba Steve.
It's been coming a very neat lap from Scuba Steve as well. Just a few moments under traction where his wheel spun, so lost quite a bit of time, but currently goes to the top of the timing sheet at 53.9, which towards the end of the session I'd expect to be beaten. And sorry for cutting you off, I'll let you continue.
Yeah, no, just please cut in, because if not, I just keep on talking. So whenever you want to say something, please cut in. As ESW Azerbaijan Mike just set his lap time a 1:56.3, and Tunturi Parina with a 1:57.3. So yeah, quite a big gap between Scuba Steve and the rest of the guys who did put in that time.
Yeah, and Raymeader as well coming through the final corner. His Sex 2 split was 3 seconds down on Scuba Steve as well. So that's got to be a substantial lap from Scuba Steve, which didn't look the cleanest just due to the wheel spin moment. Just that the conditions look very tricky out there, as plenty of drivers are struggling to get good lap times in.
Yeah, it most definitely looks like that, as Corby also came in on his first lap and put in a 1:56.3. Raymeader, as you said, with a 1:57. Maximus getting a nice little tow from Maximus, but he aborts his lap, so, and goes into the pit. So probably he picked up some damage along the way. Let's see, FNR Zam coming in. Doesn't look like he is going to beat Scuba Steve in this run, but he is closest to him with a 1:54.5.
I think Nelly's struggling a lot for turn 15. He's just again on his outlap, going straight on into the runoff. He's managed to spin it around this time without picking up damage, but he's not looking too confident in these conditions compared to last week.
Yeah, maybe the rain catched him out a little bit in this session. I must say, not a lot of rain races around Azerbaijan from my experience, but we have one today, or at least in qualifying. But these were the first two 90 degrees corners Nelly took. Long big straight now, and another 90-degree corner after that. And especially in these conditions, the braking zones can be really, really difficult here. So you have to be careful not to overshoot the corner and go straight on. Luckily, you have some runoff at those corners, but if you make a mistake in the upcoming corners, it can end your race. And he's going purple on the first sector there. So first sector looking nice and tidy from Nelly now.
Just checks the timing difference between him and Scuba Steve. He was 4 tenths down compared to Scuba Steve in sector 1, so it's just a game with its typical glitches once again.
Yeah, you can never trust the timings from Codemaster, can you? And yeah, just as you told us about the sector times between Nelly and Scuba Steve, he had a little touch with the wall. I hope he didn't pick up any damage there. I don't believe so. His downforce looks okay. But yeah, he is rounding off his lap here. In the rain, this can be quite tricky as well because it's very, very high speed, these corners. You have to be careful not to lose control over your car. But comes through it nicely onto the final straight, which is a very, very long straight here. And comes in with with his first lap today after struggling in his out laps with a 1:55.1, so quite a way off Scuba Steve's time.
Yep, and Scuba Steve looks to be the class of the field. However, that could be just because he might have compromised his setup here for the better quality, so which makes me think there might not be rain involved, as some people have just gone for the normal setups, not changed it a bit to make it better for these conditions. But good to see Scuba Steve struggle in the race.
Yeah, that can very much be so, and especially if it's going to be a dry race, you don't need that much downforce because it are a few light. That is a front wing done for FRL Charlie, who overshoots a corner there, and yeah, still to set in a time. So. Nelly not the only one struggling here. Charlie struggling as well. Second attempt, and he fails again.
I'm currently on board with Nelly, and he's absolutely flying now. He was 4 tenths quicker than Scuba Steve in sector 1 on his second lap, which shows that the intermediates get better on the second lap if they heat up more and adapt to the conditions. I wonder if we'll see more people going for 2 runs towards the end of the session.
Yeah, what's your preferred strategy if there's an intermediate qualification? Do you just fuel up a bit and do 2 or 3, maybe 4 laps, or do you want to do 1 hot lap and that's it?
I would personally go for 2 to 3 laps just so I can adapt to the conditions a bit more. So I find just doing 1 lap and then another, it's quite difficult to adapt and pick it up. Whereas with 3 laps you get more of a chance to improve on each lap. As Sam goes top of time sheets with a 1:53.1, 8 tenths clear of Scuba Steve, as Nelly just drops in behind him with a 1:53.5.
So times are ranking up now with these guys. They're getting used to these conditions. We saw them struggle before, but now the timings are coming in with a great time of Zem and Nelly, and Scuba Steve on his outlap at the moment. So we're gonna have to wait and see what he is gonna do. Let's quickly check with IRL Dundee, who is on a hot lap now, and see what he can do, as he finished P2 last week. Is a really, really fast driver as well, with a nice aggressive driving style here. So yeah, he already put in a 1:54.7, but can he improve here? We must wait and see.
Cowboy once again showing his tremendous speed in qualifying as he jumps up to P2, 1 tenth clear of Nelly, and said that it's fair to say, struggled last season overall. It's been a very good start to the season for the Irishman.
Yeah, it was, and he did pick up the Constructors' Championship, I believe, together with Graham. So yeah, in the end he didn't do that bad, but he was struggling through some races. But as you said, in qualifying he is always there. It's like Daniel Ricciardo, just a one-lap speed wonder here, and he shows it today. Shows it again today.
Uber Steve going on his hot lap now has negotiated the first 3 corners very well. And this was the part of the track where he had quite a lot of wheel spins, so he can do better than he did last time. Quite a bit of wheel spin, but he's recovered it as he's 6 tenths off sector 1.
Wow. So clearly some track evolution playing its part here, as I'm just gonna see what IRL Dundee is gonna do on a second lap, and I'll be switching to Scuba Steve after that. Coming up to the finish line now, and he comes in with a 1:53.9, so puts in a P4 for now. Let's switch to Scuba Steve and see what he does on his second attempt today.
Been very neat through this section of the track as well. Even like he's been very, I can't think of the right word. He's been very conservative with the throttle and to reduce his wheel spin as he's 1.1 second up after the second sector. He's going to go pole there if he can keep it in the straight line to his final hit, which, as you said earlier, very tricky in the lap. Slides it out wide but keeps it going. Now we'll just keep it in the straight line up until the finish line, just hoping he can not lose that much time to Zam, who I do think has gone for a bit of a dry setup. So he goes to the top of the time and shoots the 1:52.8, 3 tenths clear of Zam.
So Scuba Steve really enjoying himself here, but he only has 4.5 minutes left, so I hope that's enough time to bring his car home and do one final attempt after that. Or maybe he's not doing that. His fuel indicator already blinking, so he doesn't have enough fuel to do another lap here. But yeah, we have to wait and see if he can improve again. Let's see what Kermit is doing here. Kermit didn't set a time yet in the Red Bull. Coming up to the castle section. The thing with Kermit is he's always there. He has been involved in some unlucky incidents, but in the end he normally ends up in a respectable position, and also I think one of the guys who has the least DNFs in F4. So what are your expectations on Kermit today?
I'd like to see him perform a bit better than he did last week after being caught up, as he said, in a few incidents were out of his control. So I'm hoping to see him bounce back this race and continue that form for the next few rounds.
And let's see, as he comes up to the final straight, you just want to keep your car in a straight line as possible to not scrub off any speed here. And he comes in with a 1:56.9 as ESW Brian Mike picks up a 5-place grid penalty for a collision. So not sure what happened there, but that isn't what you want, especially on a track run like this, where track position is quite key for your race, isn't it?
Yep. And I think Charlie's session is now over. He's only just got back into the pit, so with only 2 minutes left, he's going to have to do a very quick outlap. He's not even leaving the garage yet. So as I said, the track position of Charlie's very poor, so he's going to have to recover quite a lot of positions this race if he wants to be fighting his way for the championship.
Yeah, he does. But yeah, who knows? You can be lucky around this track with a well-timed safety car, which plays into your hands if you are on a different strategy, as Kiki almost loses position and touches the wall there. So I think that's his front wing done for this session, and probably his qualification over. So Kiki has, as he DNFs there at the end of the castle section, try to brake and turn, and in Formula 1 you can't do that. You just go straight on, went into the wall and lost his wheel. So he's gonna have to do some fighting back in the race.
Indeed, from P14 in the grid, is going to like the opposite end of the field with Sam, who's a 10th up in sector 1, so he's going to be very close to Scuba Steve's time if he can keep it like on the track. He's negotiates the castle section very well. Micro-times from the session, I think that is in the pit lane, which is good to see. A little bit deep into there, but he keeps it out of the walls, gets a good exit. 7/10 up in the
That is a lot.
Yeah, he's going to shoot his way up the field here. Scuba Steve's on his outlap at the moment, so it's going to be tricky for him to get. Oh, he runs it a bit wide, almost hits the wall there. Remy just crashed it through castle section, which could interfere with other people's laps.
I really thought it was the end of Sam's race there with the corner. He went so deep in the fast section, but he comes in with a 152.5.
Very good time there on Zam. Got some provisional poles. I think we've missed Remida's lap here because he's gone up into P3 just as he's crashed in castle section.
That is a great qualifying. Can someone like Coreboy beat him, who is coming up into the final sector of the track? Looks really nice. 3/10 up on his own time, so that would be enough to go into P3 and bunches Remida down a position.
I think that's probably going to be Zam on pole here, unless Coreboy's had a mega sector 3. As Scuba Steve didn't make it to the line in time because he went too late on his outlap. As Coreboy jumps in by 1,000th of a second.
That really is close. That really is close as Nelly comes into the pit. So no lap for him. Let's see, Dundee looks to be still on a lap here. Can he maybe go up there, or is he saving everything for the race?
Storm's coming up to the line now. Jumps Nelly into P5 at 153.5. Seems to be very close between two drivers every single time, but it's quite spread out between them two drivers. It's like a 5/10 gap from P3 to P4, and then only a 2/10 gap from P4 to P5.
Yeah, and even never regret. As FNR Zam comes in with a 151.9 now. And Irwell Dundee puts his car into P4, just behind, or in between Scuba Steve and Ray Meter there with a 153.1. But what a time from FNR Zam there in the end, as qualifying is over, but it's almost a second between him and Coreboy in P2.
That's just unheard of in F1, a 1 second gap. I'm hoping he can carry this pace along into the race, as it could just be the same thing as Potter with him walking off up front, unless the safety cars play a massive factor in the race for him.
Yeah, who knows? We're gonna have to wait and see. But so far, Zam's first race here, qualification really dominant. I mean, as you said, almost a second. That's a big gap in Formula One. That's just a couple of miles apart. So, yeah, great job from him. And we are only waiting for, I believe, CPI Black Phoenix to retire into the pits. Couldn't set any time because he has to serve a qualification ban, but next week he surely is going to be trying to come up in qualification as high as possible.
Yes, I saw him disconnect earlier in the session. I'm not too sure if he's been able to get back in.
I really hope he does. I really hope he does.
There's Yuki Tsunoda and Valtteri Bottas have joined us for this race.
Yeah. I am a bit surprised to see Yuki and Valtteri here joining us, and the time remaining just stays at 1 second with me.
On my end, I'm not sure how Nelly will feel about this qualifying, as he's started off very poor with damage and just silly mistakes on his outlap. But P7, it's a good starting position, but if he wants to fight for his championship, he's got to recover very well in the race here. be fighting for the podium.
Yeah, he does, and it is apart from the last sector, which is just basically a really really long straight with two kinks in it. It is really hard to overtake here and to cleanly overtake here. So yeah, he got his work cut out, but still, after seeing him struggling so much in his first two attempts, I believe, or his outlaps before he even started, I think he can be happy with a P7 eventually.
Yeah, just hope to see him recover well in the race there, as the championship could come down to it, if you think about it. It's very small margins across F4s, but Phoenix has left the session, so now we can get going for the race.
Yeah. So, our final standings. After qualification, F1 Zam in P1 and 9 tenths behind him, Corboy, who puts his car into P2. Just right behind him, 1,000th of a second, Scuba Steve, IRL Dundee in P4, Ray Meade P5, Storm P6, Nelly P7, Tunturi Parina P8, NSR Maxi Saim P9, and rounding off the top 10 is Ivor Brian Mike with his 5-place grid penalty. Then in P11 we have Leslie the Twig, Long Card 87, our OFR Maximus P14 Kiki, Kermit P15, Charlie P16, CPI Black Phoenix P17 without setting a time as CPI Noah J rounding off qualification here.
Yes, it's a very mixed up grid from last week, it's fair to say. Nelly's a bit further down the order, so is Charlie, whereas the likes of Zam and Scuba Steve are starting higher up this time around, as it's looking very sunny around the streets of Baku. It's assuming we're going to have a dry race unless the conditions rapidly deteriorate.
I think we do, and I think our drivers are hoping for a dry session as well, because we have seen some struggling in the rain here. But as you said, nice and sunny here, just some little clouds there. So from my perspective, nothing to worry about if we're talking about rain. But yeah, who knows? Sometimes the weather can change quickly in F1 2021.
Yeah, so just waiting for the session to start with 20 seconds left, as the drivers are going to be lining up on the grid here, just awaiting the start of the formation lap.
And as everyone did a qualification on the intermediates, they have a free choice of tire. What would your choice be if you were in their shoes?
I feel like I'll be in their position this Sunday, starting outside the top 10, so I'd probably go for the medium tyres and go along and just hope for a safety car to come out. Let's check the tyres now.
Yeah, we have some mixed up strategies here. Top 3, starting on the soft tire, Sam Corboy, Scuba Steve, and then you've got IRL Dundee going for the mediums. Behind him, Ray Meter on the softs, and then Storm and Nelly on the mediums. Tunturi, Maxi and Lesty all on softs again, and then outside the top 10, everyone besides FL Charlie and Black Phoenix going for the medium tires. So yeah, I think the top 3 just want to secure their position at the starts. I think that's their main concern about starting on the softs, isn't it?
Yes, but towards like lap 4 or lap 5, them softs are going to be absolutely knackered, which is going to fall right into Dundee's hands, as he could maybe start then attacking them to overtake them for the podium positions.
Yeah, that well may be, and yeah, I haven't driven Baku on this game, but is it still a one-stop strategy around here?
Yes, I was doing some laps a few days ago with my teammate, and the tyre wear here, the fronts are completely fine as they barely wear out, but the rear tyres are the massive issue here. There's quite a few traction zones which can lead to the rear tyres burning out, so the top 3 are going to have to try be careful to throttle here, just to save them rear tyres so they can attack a bit more towards the end of their stints.
Yeah, especially as you said in the traction zones with the 90-degree corners. You have to be careful on traction, or you will just spin up your rear tires, and yeah, wear would be worse than when you just do it nice and slowly. But all these guys warming up their tires frantically here, and coming up to the line. Not a really long straight at the start. It is a long straight, but not at the start. You're starting quite high up. So yeah, let's hope everybody comes through nice and clean today. Any quick predictions for the race?
Okay, so just due to the qualifying, I think Sam is going to finish P1. Then I think Nelly is going to recover from on the medium tyres up into P2, and I'll go for a bit of a out there call. I'll say Max is same just because his pace around Portugal was phenomenal. Just a few mistakes and a late penalty cost him.
Yeah, I'm going for the alternate strategy. So I'm going for Dundee, Storm, and Nelly. P1, P2, P3. So let's see who's going to be right. I'm going to let you do the starts here as everybody's lined up.
Just waiting lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. As Cowboy's got a bit of a good start here as Sam holds his position to turn 1 as Cowboy aggressively defends from Scuba Steve. As down the field they're going side by side, which is going to cost them quite a bit of time here. They're all bunched up here as Nelly's almost going to the back there of the McLaren of Storm. So he's got to be careful here to try and keep his wing intact. It's been a relatively safe start as we've not seen anyone really jump up the field or anyone drop down the field, so everyone's kept it nice and clean, kept the wings intact as Kiki's now dropped to position to Mike as FRL Charlie, who started P16 I think, is now up to P11, so he's had a very aggressive start.
Yeah, great start from Charlie, and he had to have a great start as he started on the soft compound of tires, so making up positions really quickly. And already after half a round, Zam is almost a second clear of Corby, so he really has a good start. Let's see if he can keep his tires into good conditions as well. And Scuba Steve just taking a look with Corboy here.
On the exit of Castle section, Noah J's burnt up his rear tyres, wheels spun and lost the car, unfortunately, as he drops down to the back of the field for the second race in a row.
So Noah J really hoping for that safety car to save his race. Did he pick up any damage there?
I don't think so, and by the look of the times he's not really losing time to Black Phoenix, however Black Phoenix still isn't in his car. Due to the rejoining qualities. FRL Charlie's going side by side with the long car here into turn 1.
Yeah, they do, and who dares to brake later? I think it is gonna be Longcart, but still these guys are side by side, so some great battles. And now Charlie chooses to slid in behind Longcart, so battle 1 is for Longcart, but Charlie already up to P10, as I believe Azerbaijan Mike and Maximus were in a bit of trouble as well, because Azerbaijan Mike in P17 and Maximus into the pits with a wing change.
Uber Steve as well, he's dropped from P3 to P13. So I wonder what's happened with him there. He must have spun out of turn 1 or turn 2. There's a good race there for Scuba Steve's gone down the drain, it's fair to say. It's just going to be doing the same as Mike, Maximus, and Noah's just hoping for that safety car to come out.
Yeah, they really do. And I believe Kermit, I saw Kermit picking up a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flag. So I don't think he is going to be happy about that. But yeah, so far, up in front, nobody in real trouble there. Ooh, Dundee's out.
He went straight on at Castle section and picked up wing damage, as that's a virtual safety car here. Remy made a very good overtake there, down the inside on the exit of Castle section past Dundee. It's just unfortunate that he's then picked up wing damage and just retired from the race.
It is, and I must say I'm a little bit surprised that it's only a virtual safety car, as he is just on track there, but Yeah, on the other hand, luckily for the game, we have ghosting on, so
Max is going into the
nobody's
pits.
picking it up. Yeah, Max is same. Did he pick up any wing damage, or is he just taking uh, use of? No, he doesn't have any wing damage, so he just want to have a quick pit stop for the mediums. But I don't think he's gonna be able to go to the end on mediums, is he?
Watching from F3 last night, Scuba hit on lap 4 under the safety car and his tyres were absolutely screaming at the end of the race. So it's going to be even more difficult for Maxi as he doesn't have an extra 1 or 2 laps under safety car to keep the temps down and progress into the race. But it's going to be very tricky, as you said there, to get them to the end.
Yeah, so really gonna be in that puncture territory at the final few laps of the race. As the virtual safety car ending now, and Charlie really close to Longcart. He did lose that first battle these guys had, but he is looking for that overtake there. I must say, Charlie looking really fast here today. Qualification, he couldn't put a good lap together, but already up to P8 in the race now on these soft tires. So yeah, let's see if he is going to be able to make an overtake attempt on Longcart here. As he is really close to Longard, but you just want to time this perfectly. Let's see Longard ERS management. On ERS they are basically the same, so it all depends on straight line speed here. But he is closing in, but it isn't as much as he needs. But now he opens up his ERS, and look at this, going for the outside here, and even before the corner. Oh, I thought Longcart was going to come back there, but before the corner, it was a victory for Charlie there and taking P7.
Good move there from Charlie's. Nelly's also progressed past Storm and up into P4 here, as this virtual safety car has helped Cowboy a lot as he was struggling to stay within the 1 second window. Zam reacted quite poorly to the virtual safety car ending, and Cowboy's now within his DRS.
Yeah, but already it was 4 tenths and it's ranking up quickly those tenths between Zem and Corboy. So yeah, let's hope he can keep up with Zem to the DRS line of the start-finish straight, because he really needs that. But he is right on that bubble here as he's in 9.5 tenths. As Kiki and Maxi Saim having a little battle there, and Maxi winning the position over Kiki. So some small battles there. Also saw Scuba Steve overtaking Kermit. But I must say, 3-lap old socks, and I see Scuba Steve sliding around a lot.
Yep, on the exit of Castle there, he lost the rear end, and it's done well there to get back within DRS range. That one mistake could have cost him DRS, which would have left him vulnerable to Kermit in behind. But a yellow flag.
Lesty's out.
Does this bring out the safety car? Yes, it does.
So
Storm is going to the pits.
yeah, I think it was the safety car was. Ooh, Storm picks up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but I think that safety car came a little bit too late for the top 3 runners, didn't it, to go into the pits.
Yes, it's Charlie's followed his teammate in as well there, so he's going to lose maybe a position or 2 just to being held for an extra 2 seconds. But no, it seems all's gone well for him there as he retains his position on track.
And here you see Maxi Siam pitting early under the virtual safety car from the softs to the mediums, already back up to P8. So in the end, it all played out relatively good for him, and he can save up his tires a bit now behind the safety car, as we probably are gonna have after this, we're gonna have another lap behind the safety car. But good news for Maxi Saim, isn't it?
Yes, this has massively played into his hands as he is technically now the net race leader, and it would really shock me if the top 3 and Noah, not Noah because he's in the medium tyres, the top 3 don't pit, because going more than 5 laps here with a free pit stop that would just be a bit silly from them.
Yeah, and especially as you said, 4 or 5 laps, uh, they're just gonna be overheating, and it isn't nice to drive around on. It's already a slippery track, but also on slippery tires. So I think they are gonna be pitting, but yeah, probably they're gonna lose out. As I see, is it Longhart? Looked like he was standing still, but he is still driving around. So let's see what these guys are doing. Are they gonna go into the pits or are they gonna stay out? Zen is gonna stay out. Corboy is gonna pit, and Ray Meter is following him.
I think that's the wrong call there from Zam. He's going to be quite vulnerable on the restart to Nelly in behind you. I think it's fair to say the safety car hasn't helped Nelly here in the alternate strategy, because the soft run has been able to get off the tyres at the time where they were at the worst. So, not looking good there for the Dutchman.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the crossover point is already reached with these tires. So Nelly probably gonna be putting a lot of pressure on Zam after the restart. But are we gonna be seeing some racing this lap, or are we gonna have to wait for another lap? I am not sure. I hope we can go racing again, that everybody can catch up with the safety car, but we're gonna have to wait and see.
If it stays out for another lap, if I was maybe Nelly in this position, I'd probably pit now and maybe try to pit again, just depending how long it's going to stay out. They could go back onto another set of fresh mediums, which go to the end, like pit onto a set of pads to start with to get the tyre compound out of the way, but I think he's left that a bit too late now, as Black Phoenix is going to be joining on the rear of this train any second now.
Yeah, I think if he is gonna be pitting now, he's gonna be falling all the way back to the grid. And to be honest, as Nelly is really heating up those tires aggressively, so he is expecting to get a restart now. But yeah, safety car is in this lap, so FNR Zam, as the lights are out of the safety car, Zam can detect the pace here and probably is going for a late restart. At least that's what I would be doing with this long straight here.
Yeah, especially on them soft tyres, just to try and maintain the gap to Nelly instead of losing a position, so he can hold Nelly up and try, I wouldn't say damage his race, but just help his own a bit more. Because keeps like putting a bit of throttle on then going off, which is not really loud as he's now maintaining the steady rate as he's gone already, and I think Nelly was quick to react to that. He's maintained the gap as Ivor might going for the move on Maxi Saint. Nope, he holds on. Oh no, minus. Oh no, yeah, it's defended from Maxi now, but that makes sense.
Oh, Charlie did go for the move there on Kiki, so good restart from Charlie. And he's already at the back of Storm here. Storm and Charlie teammates. We saw last race that Storm didn't put up a massive fight, as Charlie just was the quickest of the two. And here Scuba Steve and Tunturi went side by side. Little wheel banging there, but they both survived. And Scuba Steve now looking at Kiki. Kiki already lost a lot of time. And here Charlie and Storm switching positions. And Ray Meter with a really bad exit there. So already Charlie up 2 positions here in one corner and a straight. So Charlie really flying today.
Yeah, his pace seems extraordinary, like it was at Portimao. He's cut his way through the field. As Storm has gone past Remeda on the exit of Castle section. Oh, never mind, Remeda's broke his front wing through Castle.
Yeah, so everybody passing him now. Oh, I hope he. Oh no, big crash. That's what I was afraid of.
Very silly there from Remeda.
Yeah. I was just about to say I hope he does give everybody the space to overtake, because you can't hold everyone behind you with a broken front wing. But here is the end result. Maximus with a broken front wing, Ray Meter out of the race.
Venturi with a broken front wing as well.
Yeah, Tenturi with a broken front wing. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a busy steward office tonight.
It's very silly there from Remy to trying to go flat out through that corner without front wing. He's never going to end well there. And that's cost his teammate a good result here. Zam's now pit under the safety car and has dropped to P11. And he's 6 places behind the net race leader. Not what you'd have expected after that dominant qualifying.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But yeah, it's Nelly, Longcard, CPI, Noah J, and Ivan Brian Mike, top 4 now, but they still do have to pit. Maxi can save up some more tires as he went for an early pit stop. But yeah, there is 4 laps of racing behind his medium tires, but they weren't really 4 laps of racing. Corboy on a fresh set of tires as well in P6. So Corboy started P2, doing a great job today in the race as well.
Yeah, it's been very good race here from Cowboys. He picks the right time to pit, and it's got him into. It's held him in the net P2 here, but he's not too far behind Maxi, and Max with the older tyres will struggle towards the end of the race, which could see him prevail. I wonder if we're going to see any of the top 4 pit now off their medium tyres, or are they just going to keep open for a safety car so they can pit onto the soft tyres?
Yeah, I think if I were those guys, I wouldn't be pitting now, as everybody is still really packed together because of the earlier safety car. So I don't think they are going to be pitting. They're probably waiting for a better opportunity. But yeah, if the pace of the safety cars stay like this, at one point you do have to go. So let's wait and see when they're going to go. Talking about tires, would you go for the hard compound of tire here?
No, in my opinion, because as you said earlier, it's a track that doesn't offer much grip, so the tyres are very slidey throughout most of the track, and the hard tyres here just have little to no grip. They struggle to maintain the same temperature range. For me, I'd just do what they're doing now and just stick on the medium tyres and hope for a safety car later in the race where they can get onto the fresh soft tyres and then charge through the field.
Yeah, it would be good for these guys to get a safety car on lap 20, something like that. They can pit, go on the soft tires and have some laps of racing. You have a lighter car then, so wearing off the soft tires won't be as hard as at the start of the race, but still pretty high on these soft tires. They're going to be dying off really quick. But yeah, that's, I think, with 5 or 6 more laps of racing left, they can still gain some positions with their soft tire, because there is a big difference between the mediums and the softs.
Yeah, 100%, as the softs feel so grip and stick to the track. I think the earliest you can pit the soft tyres here is lap 15-16, but just towards the end of the stint, the softs won't feel as nice as they did at the start of the stint, as they deteriorate quite quickly due to the rears dropping off.
And further back, Maximus did go for that hard compound of tire. As I see, I almost forgot, but Black Phoenix. Oh, Corboy DNF'd under the safety car in the castle section.
That is so disappointing there for the Irishman, as he was definitely in the fight for the win there. It's quite a silly mistake to make, but it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I have grown accustomed to some spins under the safety car as well, and Corboy was unlucky enough to have it in the castle section where you, when you lose grip, you just go into the wall. But yeah, really disappointing from him. Really curious to see what happened there, but yeah, it's race over for Corboy.
Nelly's got damage. I think he must have hit Corboy as Nelly was in front, and I think Nelly's also hit the wall through the castle section. He's dropped 3 positions.
Maybe that's what happened. Nelly made a mistake and startled Corboy, and he lost his wheel. So Nelly lucky to still be able to continue, and Corboy the unlucky one who ended his race there.
Very silly mistake there from Nelly. If he wants to win this championship, he's got to cut them mistakes down here because it cost himself a good result. He's going to have to do as what Charlie's done this race and charge through the field, which I think he has the ability to do. He's getting his front wing changed now as he drops to the back of the field.
Yeah, and he is going for the soft, so I think he's hoping for not a restart so he can put on another set of mediums there, because he isn't going to be able to finish his race on these softs, is he?
Probably not, unless he does the Lewis Hamilton and massages his tyres the entire way through. I don't think he'll appreciate me saying that as a Max Verstappen fan, but he is.
Yeah. He has to be a tire whisperer like Max Verstappen then.
But he's joined onto the rear of the field already, so it's unlikely that it's not going to be a restart here, which is good to see.
Yeah.
Get more action.
Yeah, because we're here to see some racing, and I must say I really like the red safety car, the red Mercedes here, but I do love to see racing more. So, but I think you're right. I think safety car is going to be coming in here as everybody is on the back of the safety car here, and it's going to be Longhart who has to restart this race here. So Longhart is a new name for me. Does this sound familiar to you?
Nope, I've never encountered the driver, but his pace seems to be very good here, as he's currently leading the race from the rear of the field. All the safety cars and strategies have played a bit into his hand here, as he still needs to pit, but he's backing up now from the safety car. So Mike picks up a 5-second penalty there for hitting Noah J.
Yeah, so not what he wants. But hey, it happens. And let's see what Longhart can do. We saw his battle with Charlie today, and he isn't one to give up easily. At least that's what he showed in that battle. And he already went. So that's really, really early to go for a safety car restart here. But let's see, I have a horrible angle. Give me another angle. His gap to Noah J is quite okay, so he is going to be holding out here. And he has to dictate the pace now. Oh, as Zam and Scuba Steve are battling there. And Zam already next to Kiki as well. Passing Kiki here. And that opens the door for Scuba Steve. Oh, Kiki had some trouble on traction there and went into the wall with a tank slapper. Scuba Steve had to go on the brake there, and Kermit passing the both of them. So Kermit doing okay there as well, and Scuba Steve just has his heart rate in his throat, I think, at the moment, because that could be race ending for Scuba as well.
Did very well to recover from that as well, because he went around the outside of Tinteri at turn 3, which isn't an easy task to say how the track shortens in the exit, as the walls get a bit closer towards me. So it's a very good move there, as Nelly's now past Tinteri as well, trying to follow Scuba Steve through the back of his pack on these soft tyres.
Yeah, really good grip on these soft tyres, as Scuba Steve putting under pressure on Kermit now. So let's see if he can snatch that position away from our green frog in the nice Red Bull car there, and also having, of course, Nelly breathing into the back of him. So his move has to be on point on Kermit, or Nelly is going to be passing Scuba Steve there, and he isn't going to be seeing him for a couple of laps as he's on the soft tires. But here they go into the straight. No DRS yet, because we had the safety car restart, so it's all straight line speed here for these guys. And the gap is coming down, but really just slightly here, as Maxi Saim going past Ivan Brian Mike, and CPI Black Phoenix past Maximus, who went into the pits again. But these three guys for now holding their positions. But Nelly, look at this, Nelly going into the outside there of Scuba Steve and making the overtake done. So that's one little mistake, and he's going to be waiting for a mistake for Kermit now, isn't he?
He's just going to be hounding the back of Kermit on these fresh soft tyres, but I think he's going to fall. He's going to copy the same mistake Charlie did last week. Just push the tyres too early and tear the life out of them, as Charlie's now past Mike at the front of the field. So he goes side by side, and we could see some action through Castle. As no, either Bryn Mike's out, which is very smart as a Welshman, as he's lost it into the Castle section, has collected Storm. Storm's out of the race. So is Kermit. This, as the third safety car of this race, this is a bit disappointing, to be honest. Just one mistake. Poor ghosting system has led to Storm and Kermit both retiring.
Yeah, I just saw Azerbaijan Mike going into the wall there, losing it on traction, and yeah, collecting Storm and Kermit there, which is really unfortunate. These guys just can't seem to get a break with these kinds of incidents. Kermit again ending his race, which isn't of a mistake of his own there, just a car blocking the castle section there completely. And we have another safety car, so probably we're going to see, yes, everyone from the up front is going to pit, but even Charlie, and that's quite a surprise to me.
Yeah, because Nelly's also followed suit, so everyone's pitting apart from Sam here, so this could be the wrong decision once again from Sam here, which could cost him the race, but it's fair to say we were both wrong with our safety car predictions this race.
Yeah, we did. I mean, you said 3, didn't you?
I said 2 or 3, and then you said 2, and it is on reduced. So
yeah,
nothing we can do about it.
No, there isn't. But yeah, 12 guys left so far. We have Storm, Kermit, Corboy, Ray Meader, Leslie the Twig, and IRL Dundee out of this race. And so far, FNR Zam on the medium tires. Eventually, it proved to be the right strategy, staying out a little bit too long. But yeah, who knows? We still have 13 or 14 laps of racing left. So Zam in P1, Longhart went for the hard compound of tires. He was on the mediums, is in P2. Maxi Saim in P3 on fresh mediums. Charlie fresh mediums as well in P4. Noah J went for the hard compound of tires, is in P5. OFR Maximus is in P6. Huh?
I don't think Maximus pit and just stayed out because he dropped to the field quite early on in that set.
Yeah, he did after, I believe, some wing damage. He just went for the hard compound of tires. Tunturi on the softs in P7. Scuba Steve on fresh mediums in P8. Nelly in P9 fresh mediums. CPI Black Phoenix in P10 on fresh mediums as Maxi Saim and Charlie now getting a 5-second time penalty for a collision. Kiki in P11 on fresh mediums, and Ivor Brian Mike with a fresh brand new front wing and fresh soft tires in P12.
Very mixed up strategy between the field here, as some have gone for hards, some stayed out on worn tyres, and all the compounds. It's been a very interesting race. I think we've seen more laps led from Bern Mylander than anyone else.
yeah, Bern is the big winner today with the most laps leading, I think. And Charlie going in again, so I think he damaged his front wing and
crashed into the pit lane.
Yeah, he just had enough. I think he retired in pit lane.
Now that he crashed on the way in his Tunturi, he's now pit for. That's a bit confusing. He's pit for a worn set of mediums off the fresh softs. So clearly thinking the mediums can't last 12 laps, which in theory they can, but they will drop off rapidly. As Mike's done the exact same, but has gone onto a fresh set of the medium tyres.
So yeah, let's hope nobody touches each other now under the safety car, as I must say it's quite annoying. I mean, nothing Black Phoenix can do about it, but Kiki, Maximus, Tunturi, and Ivor Brian Mike are going to be stuck behind the ghost of Black Phoenix, I believe, because I didn't see him rejoin the race, or did he?
and I think he's not joined. I don't think he's been in control of his car all race, unfortunately, for the Lebanese man. But I take everything back I just said about the mixed-up strategies. Everyone, apart from Longcart and Noah J, have gone into the medium tyres.
And that's how quickly strategies can change around here in F4.
Got my hopes up.
But to be honest, I think it's the right call from these guys who were on the softs to go into the mediums.
I'd agree with that, but just for Suntory and Mike being quite far down the field, it's probably worth just gambling and going onto the soft tyres and trying to cut the way through the field, and then trying to keep up with the train even when the tyres have dropped off.
And Bert Mylander, or the virtual Bert Mylander, is going to be gracefully giving them the honors of being the lead car and controlling the pace here. He is going in. I hope we won't see the virtual Bert Mylander back today, because I really want to see that final 12 laps of racing. And it's going to be FNR Zam who's going to be leading the restart here, as Black Phoenix, Kiki, Tunturi. Ooh, and he's already going Zam. So he catched Longcart a little bit sleeping there, because there's a big gap, and Maxi see him right besides him. Yeah, and he makes the overtake down. So great restart from Maxi there. But Zam, beautiful restart there on his six lap old tires.
It's Nelly getting very loose there out of turn 2 as he passed Kiki. Could allow Kiki to go for a free overtake on his teammate, but he backs out of the move.
Yeah, I think some team orders were in play there between Nelly and Kiki, but Nelly is gonna be just hounding away on Longcart and Noah J, who are on the hard compound of tires. You can see the difference in pace between Noah J and Maxi Saim, 1.3 seconds already.
And then worn tyres don't look too great on Zam's car, because Maxi Saim was hounding him into the chicane, that he went in a little bit deep and lost quite a big chunk of time. But he's got to contend with that 5-second penalty, which could get removed if it wasn't his fault and it was just like he was the victim in the incident there, but he's got to clear Zam quick and try pull the gap on them fresh tyres.
And there Nelly goes, sorry to cut in there, with a beautiful move, risky move there to make an overtake happen there. But he did it, and Nelly is up into P4 now.
Been a very good drive there from Nelly, recovering from the earlier safety cars, so mistake without a win. Been a bit of a chaotic race, which has definitely played into his hands there, as Max sets the fastest lap of a 1:42.4, as I think we're not going to see any action down the straight. Never mind. Mike passes Scuba Stevens turn 1. Good move there from the Welshman.
Yeah, that's what we love to see. So Scuba Steve started out really good here, but fell back a little bit. Wasn't lucky with all these safety cars as well. But he has some fighting back to do. And Maxi staying really close to FNR Zam there. So probably he is going to be trying something on Zam, I think, because he is looking the quicker of the two now, or at the moment at least, isn't he?
Yes, he's once again hounded him through there, but another quite a surprising thing is Longcart struggling on them hard tyres. He seemed quicker than Noah J whilst he was in front on the last restart, but now he's dropped over 2.5 seconds behind Noah J already on the restart.
Yeah, that is quite a lot. He was looking really, really well there indeed. And another one just just going into predator mode here again is Nelly. Nelly trying to get within that second window of Noah J to pick up the DRS when it is possible.
Sorry to put in, but Maxi Sam's gone for the move already on Zam. Not before the DRS zone, but I think that means Zam's going to get the DRS. never mind, it's not even enabled yet, is it? Excuse me,
Not
on
yet.
DRS, Maxi already clear of him, and now he's got to just push as hard as he can and clear the gap as Nelly's now set the new fastest lap as he gets within DRS range of Noah J.
Yeah, and in the meanwhile, I wanted to say Kiki passed Longhart, but Kiki crashed. So he passed him, and after that, he lost control over his car and lost that position, including several other positions after that.
Mike's now passed on Longhart, which is very unfortunate there for Kiki. He was on for a good result there, which has been very good for Alfa Romeo and the constructors. After I think another poor weekend last week for the Britishman.
Yeah, not really feeling F1 2021, I'm afraid. I mean, we've seen in the past that he's a very, very quick driver. Look at that, Nelly just almost pushing Noah J through those corners there, and he has to be careful not to damage his front wing because he's right on the back of Noah J now, and SDRS is enabled. We're probably going to be seeing him staying behind Noah J for now, but as soon as they enter that DRS part of the track, he's gonna be overtaking him, and Noah J won't be seeing him back again. So here he is. Let's go on board for this one. Staying behind him really nicely, getting that slipstream. And here is the DRS activation point. Now opening up the DRS, and here he goes, overspeed. Ooh, going to the inside, really close to the wall there. And it's overtake done. So really nice overtake from Nelly, but he has a 3.5 second gap to close to FNR Zen there, who lost his DRS opportunity to Maxi Siam, who's really flying here. So good race from Maxi, isn't it? As I think my co-commentator has a little bit of trouble. Ooh, Noah J almost losing it there in the traction zone as he came back because of DRS on Nelly, but it's over for him now. So let's see if Nelly is going to be able to close that gap to FNR Zam. He still has 8 laps left of racing to close that gap, but do you think Nelly is going to be able to close the gap to Zam, Funky?
I think he will because the tyres on Zam's car look finished as he was the quickest by a mile and he's now 1.5 seconds behind Max the same within a few laps. So I can see Nelly getting it. He's already taken 4 attempts out just to the castle section alone.
Yeah, just showing some incredible pace as we have a Kiki again. Yeah, Kiki going round again there, so not going his way today. But we have a nice little three-way battle here, or we can, between Scuba Steve, Tenturi and OFR Maximus, as Tenturi is just right behind Scuba Steve there in the slipstream, coming up to the DRS activation point. Now opening it up, but is he going to be fast enough? Look at that overspeed here, trying to stay in the DRS, taking the outside line here. But some nice late braking from Scuba Steve, but it isn't enough. So good overtaking from Tenturi there.
Very good move around the outside, but his ERF management's going to let him down a bit here. Scuba Steve's got more ERF, so he's just going to grab easily overtake down the inside into 10-4. There's some turbo it's late, and that's a dull late, and he's going to the wall.
Yeah, so mistake of Tenturi there. Had nothing to do with Scuba Steve, just Tenturi going too wide there, too late on the brakes. And that promotes Maximus upper play. So now Maximus can try to have a go at Scuba Steve in, well, probably half a second there when they are going to be half a second, longer than half a second of course, when they're going to be passing the start-finish line.
Mike's showing tremendous pace there as he's hounding Noah J. This is within 4 attempts as they're going to go down into the penultimate corner. Is he going to make a move? No, he sticks behind, just probably going to go for the DRS overtake down the back straight. go on board. Yeah, it's going to be a simple move, but just down the inside on the straight there. Noah Jay's has already burnt through the RS, which is a bit unnecessary. He's already made the move. But it seems them hard tyres, as we were saying earlier, aren't in the right window. Noah Jay's paying the consequences for it. As Maximus has gone around the outside of Scoop Steven again.
Ooh, Mike is out.
That going to be another safety car?
Yep.
That's 4.
That's 4, so yeah. In the end, neither of us was right.
Yeah. It's the longest stint we've gone without one this race, at least. Some good racing in between.
Yeah, that's a good thing, just pointing out the positive things here. That was, I believe, the longest stint without a safety car, so...
I think the safety car's definitely going to help Nelly a lot, just to close the gap to Zam, and I think I've seen Nelly hit the wall. He's got no damage on his car, but he ran it in a bit deep into the castle there, he's had to go on the brakes quite heavily. Very fortunate to keep it out. But I think we're going to see Zam hit for the soft tyres here.
Yeah, and where is he gonna come out then? I think he's gonna come out in P7 after his pit stop. Yep. P6? Yeah, this is a safety car, of course, so everybody has to stick to a delta.
Wouldn't surprise me seeing the 2 hard runners of Noah in long karting as well as in hard tyres, as we saw in the last restart. They don't work, and they were just dropping like a stone through the field.
Yeah. Ooh, as Maxi is coming in as well.
Zam's in.
Zam's in, Nelly's in.
Noah's in.
Noah J. Longcart, is he gonna come in? Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Anyone going to stay up?
Maximus, Black Phoenix, probably his Ghost is gonna stay out. And Tunturi and Kiki already pitted, so they are on soft, fresh softs.
Zam's jumped to Maxi because of that 5-second penalty he had to search is very unfortunate there for Maxi. As has kind of handed like a massive chance of the winner to Zam, as he should really have been in P2. But taking advantage of other people's mistakes, what all champions do.
Yeah, that's what racing is about. I mean, it isn't always about being the fastest. Sometimes it's about just taking every opportunity and being smart. And that's what Sam did here.
Everyone in the field who's in control of the car is pit for the soft tyres, so it's going to be, as Lewis Hamilton says, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon these last 5 laps.
Yeah, and really important for everyone to get cleanly through the first couple of corners, because I don't think we are, or at least I hope, but I don't think we're gonna see a safety car after this one. So if you make a mistake now, lose it on traction or get reacquainted with the wall somewhere, it's gonna be race over for you.
Yep, that's just going to be the harsh reality of this track. You make a mistake and it's race over. As I've just checked, if you finish the race now since Black Phoenix won, gain points since he's been AI all race, as long as you finish, you've scored at least 11 points.
And that's that could be 11 important points in the end.
So Kiki just making a few mistakes, but he's not lost his wheel. He's kept his cool, and he's going to hopefully get to the end of the race here if everything goes well for him. And he's picked up at least 11 points, which is be a very good result for the Alfa Romeo team.
Yeah, definitely, especially after seeing him spinning 2 or 3 times, I believe. So, yeah, that is a good result for him. But in the end, it's a bonus he gets for just sticking with it here and not giving up.
I think we should be getting going next lap around. Kiki's now joined onto the back of the field as he's gone in again.
Kiki? Oh yeah.
With a fresher set of soft tyres. Which is nothing to lose when you're the back of the grid, so just hope this
Yeah.
race works out for him.
Ooh, and a new front wing.
That's why.
So that's the last front wing they have, Kiki. Keep it on your car.
Hence of be receiving a large invoice from Alfa Romeo. So, what are your predictions now for the top three? I think I was along the way. I think I would be right because I said Zam, Maxi, and Nelly.
Yeah, you did. You did. I was hoping you forgot that because my prediction gone down the drain completely. But yeah, to be honest, I think the three guys in front are the fastest three on track as well. Uh, Apart from Scuba Steve, but he really has a long time to go. And at the restart, he has a disadvantage of the ghosting Black Phoenix in front of him, which probably will cost him some time. But I think I'm not sure if it's gonna be staying the same. Zam in first, Maxi in second, and Ellie in third. But I think that's gonna be our podium there.
I think Noah J's pace here is phenomenal because he wasn't losing that much time to Nelly on them hard compound tyres, which were just horrendous for him. I think he only dropped about 1.5 seconds back before the safety car, so with these fresh soft tyres and an even playing field, I think he might have a shot here at getting Nelly for the last podium spot.
So it's gonna be Nelly dropping and Noah J up in the podium there. That's your prediction.
Yep.
That's noted, as we are gonna be starting the race. Lights are out on the beautiful red Mercedes. So yeah, Sam is, I hope, and probably is gonna be leading this last safety car restart here. And let's see whose prediction is gonna be right. Is it gonna be my easy prediction of Zam, Maxi, and Nelly, or is it gonna be Zam, Maxi, and Noah J as Funky Chicken predicted there? Let's wait and see.
If the top three stays the way, I'm claiming that I predicted it right.
Yeah, so either way, you're a winner. And here he goes, Sam, really, really early. And look at the difference between Maxi and Nelly there. Really, really close together as Scuba Steve. Ooh, Nelly going down the inside there. Little wheel touching there, but they kept it clean. Still side by side there, Maxi and Nelly. And
that was as Noah J's gone through.
Yeah,
as just said, just picking the right moments to go for the overtakes, not doing anything too rash and bits and too silly like Nelly did there, which proved quite costly for him.
Yeah, and it cost him his position, and he has to fight Noah J now as well. And as you said, he showed some good pace, but look at Zam. Look at the pace Zam showed here. 1.8 seconds, and we are in the second sector of the first lap of the restart. So if Zam doesn't make a mistake, I think he is going to be our race winner here.
Yeah, all he has to do now is keep it in the straight line and just keep a relatively good pace. Like he could drive at 90% here in his one race. Noah J is falling quite a bit, where was falling quite far back from Maxi, but he's used a bit of BRS, so closed the gap to within 60%. Longcart once again falling back from the rest of the field, showing which he's the cork in the bottle in this field at the moment.
And look at Scuba Steve. Kiki tried to make an overtake. Ooh, Tunturi lost it there in the third sector. I believe he can still go, but yeah, that's gonna be his final finishing position, I think. But what I wanted to say, Kiki going for an overtake and Tunturi failed there, and just immediately Scuba Steve putting under pressure there. And look at this, side by side, straight line speed of Scuba Steve is incredible there. And
good moves there from Nelly around down the inside, at turn 1 on Noah J. Moves himself back up into the podium positions, but now he's fallen out with the one second of Maxi. So if Noah sticks close here, he could just wait a lap or two and then go for the pass for the last lap.
So Nelly really has to give it everything to catch up on Maxi Saim, because he is a really, really fast driver as well. But he is losing out a little bit of time now, so Maxi getting into his rhythm there, I think, and want to bring this P2 home.
It's Max's pace, so he doesn't look up to the pace of Zam here, but I think he's got the pace advantage on Nelly here to keep him outside of the DRS zones. Nelly has a bit of a slide on the exit, just costing him even more time. But at the same time, he's pulling away from Noah, so is that your prediction? If he keeps it in a straight line, will be correct?
Yeah, like another former Dutch F1 driver always says, all he needs to do is keep it on the black stuff and he will be alright.
But Noah's not letting us down easily here, as he's within 4 attempts. I don't think he's going to go for the move here, but he's going to wait for the next straight when DRS will be enabled. He's got a significant pace advantage on the straights, a bit like Mercedes. So he's definitely running low wings in Noah here.
Yeah, that's what we saw last lap as well. On the straights, Noah J had an advantage, but in the middle section of the lap, Nelly just pulls away from Noah J. So if he can stay in the DRS, he still has a chance to re-overtake Nelly here. But this middle section seems to be the stronghold of Nelly, so he's going to be trying everything to get Noah J out of that second behind him.
Maximus as well, his pace seems to be very good as he's on the back of Longcar within the 1 second window. He's just made a bit of a mistake there, wasted a bit of time. He's still within the DRS range, so we're currently seeing Maximus after about 5 pit stops getting P5.
5 pit stops. Holy moly.
So there's been quite a few.
Yeah. And here you can see the straight line speed of Noah J again. I mean, only when they exit the castle section, it's not a straight, it's a corner, but it's flat out. You can just see as Nelly went really, really wide there. So yeah, really feeling the pressure of Noah J. And I think Noah J, I thought he was going for it, but I would wait for the DRS detection zone, and here he goes.
So now he's got
passing
to
Nelly.
Get out of the DRS range within this lap here. It'll be very tricky for the Britishman and the Dutchman, because Nelly currently is the championship leader after a dominant victory, but he's definitely looked a lot weaker, it's fair to say, around this track. Just didn't have the confidence as he did at Portimao.
Yeah, he really showed his dominance there, and here struggling. But I must say, but that goes for everyone racing here and still racing around 10 people, or 9 people we have left. It is really hard to get into a rhythm with that many safety cars, so yeah, it's a bit forgiven. But yeah, he showed great pace last week. This week, this is one of his weak spots, I think, this track.
Max Sims made a massive mistake here, he's lost over 2 seconds to Zam, and Noah J is now within DRS.
Ooh, and with the straight line speed on that Ferrari, it's like the Ferrari of a couple of years ago. Yeah, really struggling with that damage there. So I think if he really has damage, and I don't see any visible damage, but it doesn't mean he doesn't have any damage. Yeah, he just threw away a good final position there, I think.
Noah here is going to get the overtake run. He needs to wait for the DRS, otherwise he's just going to get reposted. Zam, after a dominant race, it's fair to say, on the restart, is going to pick up the victory by 6 seconds. What's happening in behind? Noah's made the passes, now they're going to get him onto the line. I think, yep, Nelly's got it.
He did.
Very tight finish in the end, as Maximus has dropped from P5 there to P8, which suggests he's made a mistake on the final lap, unfortunately.
And then we have the Ghost of Black Phoenix finishing the race. He won't get any points for it, because you have to be in your car to get points. And our final finisher here is going to be Tunturi Parina, who's going to be finishing in P9. So everybody here picking up some really good points.
Yeah. And
In the
how
end.
have we both got the prediction for the podium wrong? Yes, it is.
Yeah, and yeah, not sure what to say. I mean, in my whole career, I think I had one prediction right.
Was on for a correct one, but Maxi, with that mistake in the last few laps, has massively cost him there. He's dropped to P4 and missed out on another podium.
Yeah, which but he drove a phenomenal race. So little mistake at the end that cost him, but he can be proud of the way he drove today.
I just
And
want to say a massive shout out here to Noah J from spinning on lap 1
yeah,
and being about 10 seconds behind everyone to P2.
do you
Phenomenal
want to
job.
take us through the final finishing positions, Funky Chicken?
Yeah, happily. So P1, after a dominant race, has been Zam. After a brilliant recovery drive there from Noah J, picks up P2. Nelly, after not looking as comfortable as he did at Portimao, picks up the final podium position. Maxi P4, Longcart P5, Scuba Steve P6, Kiki P7 after another good recovery drive after a few spins. Maximus P8, Black Phoenix without being in AI all race P9, and then Centauri finishing out the top 10 here. As our retirees for this race are Ivo Brim Mike, Charlie, Storm, Kermit, Cowboy, Ray Meader, Lesty the Twig, and IRL Dundee. It's fair to say I think 3 of them retirements came through just one tiny mistake from Mike, was it? With Kermit and
Yeah, yeah, ghosting
Storm.
system failing and Kermit and Storm got collected there. In the end, I think I know who you're gonna go for, but who's your driver of the day today?
I think it's hard to say anyone else but Noah J.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say that, and I 100% agree with that. Spinning on lap one, as you said, great recovery, finishing in P2 there. So, congratulations on driver of the day. So there was another race. We saw a lot of safety cars there, but in the end, we got the race finished. A lot of guys DNFing here, but it isn't over with the fun. Tomorrow, we well, not we, but racing is back on League Racing TV with F4 and F5 at 9 p.m. This Sunday, our one and only Funky Chicken is going to be participating in TTML F1. That's at 7 p.m. This Sunday. And then next week, we are back again at the same day, same time. So from Funky Chicken and me, it's goodbye, good night, and see you next week.